But really, what this leads me to is the second lesson to learn here. And this one is even more uncomfortable than discussing the topic of nationalism for most people. Because here's the real red pill for you people, and it's about time we just openly acknowledge this. Race is real. It's real. This colorblind meritocracy nonsense, it's not true. It's a psyop. Race is real. Pattern recognition has credibility to it, and non compatibility is no longer a theory, it's a fact. And it's a fact that we now know is a fact over years now of a trial of having these third world immigrants come into our country. And in my own personal life, I know good people who come into America, and they're good. They are good people. They learn our language. They pay their taxes, which is not even, I don't even agree with taxes, but if I have to pay them, they should be coming in and paying them, and they do. And they learn our language, they pay their taxes, they work a job, they contribute to our society. And in a perfect world, we would have an immigration system set up that allows that to continue. But the problem is with mass immigration and with illegal immigration, it has been now ruined because of the mass amount of flooding that has changed the way it all works. When you allow a small trickle of people into your country over the course of years, they are forced to assimilate because they are a severe and small minority. And that's how it needs to stay. But beyond that, race is real, and non-compatibility is not a theory. It's not a theory anymore. It's a fact, because what we are seeing is there are for sure entire cultures spanning across the globe that are just not compatible with the West. And every time we try to think otherwise or pretend otherwise or turn a blind eye to these problems, we wind up paying the price for it. Henry Nowak paid the ultimate price for it. But beyond Henry Nowak, beyond the ultimate price being paid, we look at states like Michigan with Somalian fraud. Somalia. Why would we ever look at a country like Somalia, and why would we ever conclude, after seeing the conditions of their cities and after learning about their culture and way of life, the abysmal food that they eat, everything down to that, and up to the fact that they are a pirate nation full of warlords and criminals and pirates and crime and disgusting cities, why would we look at that and say, you know what America needs? It needs more Somalians. But for some reason, somewhere up the line, up the chain of command, people have determined this. And then Michigan happens. And then we learn, or Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota happens. And then we take a look at that and we understand Minnesota has been defrauded by billions of dollars. The Quality Leering Center. By the way, if you're not paying attention, it turns out there was a second Leering Center with the same spelling error opened up by different Somalians who were also defrauding the state of Minnesota and sending the money where? To Somalia. And that's just one example. And that's not compatible. They come here and they're the same pirates here that they were in Somalia, because they're not here to assimilate. They're not here to embrace our American way of life or culture. They are here because, unlike white people who are too afraid, or unlike Americans in general, who demonize the word nationalism and are too afraid to embrace nationalism, many of these immigrants come here and they're very nationalistic and they love their culture and they love their country. And they're here to take advantage of our country and to take advantage of our way of life, but they have no intent on actually assimilating with it. They will still identify as Iranian, Afghanistan. They'll identify as Middle Eastern. They'll identify as African. They'll identify as Chinese. They'll identify as Japanese, Mexican, Latino. And that's one of the biggest problems. And many of these cultures are just not compatible. Equality, in addition to compatibility and in addition to race being real, the next lie is that equality is a concept that is real or should be worked towards. Equality is a lie. Equality is a lie, and it must be killed off. And that's what makes people uncomfortable. There is no such thing as equality. If there were, then all sports teams right now would be equal. The New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs are playing against each other. If equality were real, there would be no Game 7 nor Game 6. It would just go on infinitely, and they'd all play equal. But that's not how that's going to work. Somebody's better. One team is better. one team is worse, and we will find out. Sports are a great example. So is in general the concept of physical strength or intelligence, which can be measured by the intelligence quotient, the IQ. We know so much about this. There is no equality, not in the tangible world. Now, equality is a wonderful concept in a perfect sunshine and rainbow world. And in God's eyes, we'd like to at least think that all men are created equal. But equality in the real world does not exist. There are CEOs and there are homeless beggars. There are winning sports teams and there are losing sports teams. There are college athletes that go pro, and then there are college athletes that never make it. And that's the reality of life. Life in general is supposed to be set up as a meritocracy. You're supposed to find what you're good at and go after it. And everybody's blessed with some sort of skill and talent. But equality, general across the board equality, is a complete lie. And this ties in with racialism, and it ties in with non-compatibility, and it ties in with nationalism.